What's going on, guys? Back at it again this week with another newsletter episode. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and we're just going to dive straight into this week's topic. Today's episode is called Built Daily. The myth of the big moment. You see, most people, they wait around and they think that someone's going to come and save them, or they think that it's going to finally click one day all at once and change is going to overwhelm their lives. They think that their situation is going to be completely flipped around overnight. And I can't blame people for thinking this way because it kind of distracts you from not zooming in on what you're doing on a daily basis. It's kind of like a coping mechanism for when you know you're not doing what you can be doing. You tend to put a label on it that makes you feel comfortable. I know that's getting pretty deep, but today's topic is to shy away from those type of behaviors and just focus on the things that you can control. So the goal here is to aim for 1% improvements in your craft, in your business, or whatever it is that you work on. And I first found out about this concept from the Japanese term Kaizen. So Kaizen is a Japanese term used in the business world. And pretty much they take the main components of a business and they break it down and they try to figure out how we can improve 1% each day. You know, you don't want to aim for some moonshot. You just want to try to be better every single day. And over time, you'll see a large trajectory, kind of like a stock graph of going up because those 1% add up over time tremendously. Who you are becoming. The outcome is never the main thing. It's always the person who you become in the process. And that's why the failures when you're first starting out are so critical. And I know you guys have probably, no matter what you're into, if you go on Google or you watch YouTube videos, there'll be plenty of people trying to give you shortcuts on how you can achieve those goals faster. But what they never tell you is that those shortcuts, they kind of inhibit you from growing. You know, they prevent you from becoming the best version that you can be because the lessons that you learn along the way are the most valuable. You know, you got to be strong and you have to be able to know how to flow with the wind in whatever it is that you do. And you won't have any roots to stay put if you just figure out everything overnight, which won't happen, but that's the fallacy we tend to believe. It's kind of like once you start trusting yourself with the work, the results usually follow. You stop focusing so much on the future or where you're trying to get, which is in the future, and you start paying attention to who you're becoming, which is living in the present. And this piece is important, guys, because it's very easy to wish that you were somewhere else in life, but we know that living in the present is where all the magic happens. In the process, cut out what drains you, the habits, the distractions, and the things that take more energy than they give back. A lot of waste isn't in your schedule, guys. It's normally found in your behaviors. And down below, I list 7 steps of Kaizen and how they try to break things down. And I'm just going to briefly go over those with you guys. So number 1, define your goal. Number 2, start smaller than you think you should. And this goes back to those 1% improvements every day. Number 3, build a system, not just a goal. I would elaborate on this point, but I've talked about it before. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, he nails this on the head. So if you have any questions about step number 3, I would completely go to his book for reference and try to get some more ideas around this. And the way he breaks it down is impeccable. Step number 4, cut out the waste. Step number 5, check in regularly. You plan, you do, you check, and you act. Step number 6, reflect and adjust. And step number 7 is never stop. And that's a pretty given one right there, but not much else to say about that. Just keep going and you'll definitely get to where you want to go. And zoom out. You don't need to have everything figured out right away, like I touched on earlier. You refine it as you go. Now and then, you take a look back. What's working? What's not working? And where can I be better? You see, real growth isn't normally dramatic while it's happening. It's subtle and it builds over time. The kind that don't seem life changing until you zoom out months later, until one day you look up and you can hardly recognize your old self anymore. And that person you see in the reflection of the mirror, yeah, that's someone that you're proud of. And that's all for this week's episode, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Like and subscribe underneath so you don't miss any of these newsletters in the future. And if you prefer to read, you can follow me on Substack at Prod by Holistic, and that's where I post the written newsletters. So, once again, thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.